stop lock. Perfect. Okay, there's our pieces. Let's set up our jig. Unplug the saw. Raise it all the way up. Take the throat off. Throat plate. Just loosen the nut. Okay, so I take my makeshift jig here and I just cut a piece the same size as the 5/8 I want to use for my box cut, and then I cut another groove right here, and I'll show you how I do that. And then I just glue this piece in, and just cut off the excess so it lays flush with the fence we're going to put on. So once you glue this in, let's use some Star Bond Quickset CA glue with some activator. It holds us in within 2 minutes. We're good to go. We're going to cut this groove with the existing dado we have in there, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so now we have our key in our fence. We're going to move this over the thickness of the other key. So I'll put another key here. Right there. Lock our fence in. Now we'll put our fence back on. screw it in. Now we have our jig. It's important when you're doing box cuts. So you want to set your blade. This is about a 1/2 inch dado stack here. So I already cut the groove here. So I want to set my miter one thickness of the dado, or of the box joint over. So the blade is right over, or right under our original cut. So now we're just going to screw this in. Unless you have multiple like jigs, I have to use the same miter. So I just take it off and put on other sleds, etc. So now we're ready to start cutting. So the piece will go here first, we'll cut it, then we'll put it over here. And that's how we'll know. So right now we're just gonna make some little boxes. So we made a drawer box, now we're gonna make some little boxes now. Just to show you, give you a real detailed how you do it. So this is called your key. I just glue this in as I showed earlier with some CA glue and activator, and then you cut this groove one slot over thickness of your key. So that will be your box, your dado we'll call it. So you want to have the same thickness, uniform here on your jig. So that's what we're doing here. So now we're able to mill up our lumber and then able to start cutting our joints. So let's do that. Another thing that's important is make sure your dado blade isn't higher than the thickness of your wood, which is just a hair. So we're going to just lower this just a hair. I think right there will do it. So we have our key and we have another hole here. Now will be our lineup for when we do our cuts for our box joints. Hopefully you can see that. Here is our key, and then we have the thickness of the key, and then we have another dado cut, 5/8 of an inch. This is what I'm using. You could use any dimensions you need, but this is what I'm using. All right, so let's go. So now that I have this piece cut, I can take this next one and line it up exactly like that, because these will match now. Clamp them down. Move both over to the next key, into the key here, and we'll do our last cut here. going to cut a dado on these sides here, and then we're going to cut another small dado on the bottom when we put the other regular curved blade back in to the table saw. So let's cut these are going to be what we're going to use as our drawer slides. Okay, so here I'm going to be taking the dado stack back out real quick to put the regular kerf blade in to cut some bottom slots in for the drawer bottom. So this is just standard practice for me. Now, I don't always do this for these types of box joints. Sometimes the little 1/8 or a little over will be, groove will be visible unless you put a drawer front on, which I'm not on these ones, but you can. Just giving it a heads up on that. So we're just doing that for this, but then we're going to go back to doing our box cuts in a couple minutes. Just for these applications, you could also just, brad nail or glue, screw your bottoms on, and just take that into consideration of your height. But I like to slide these in, especially for drawer boxes. So you can see there we have our side runner. We cut the dado stacks, and now like I said, we're going to pull the regular blade out and then run our regular kerf just to create our bottom slot for the piece of plywood for the bottom. Okay, so let's put this together. Big puzzle. My problem with this, I'm not putting a face on it. You can see the little curve cut here for the bottom. That's the only issue with this. Maybe I'll put a little front on to block that. But there it goes. Box is built. So that's really it. It's that simple. So now we're going to install it real quick. Okay, so while this is drying, we're going to cut some pieces to match this dado. That will be our runners inside the box. So let's cut some trim pieces down about a 1/2 inch thick. All right, let's go. Let's move this into just at a 1/2 inch. And we'll cut some strips. Okay, so to me, little details like this, I think can help make your work stand out from others. Yeah, I could just make a regular box, maybe order a small pair of metal drawer slides, which is kind of overkill anyway. But this really is truly that nice rustic farmhouse detailed build for that makes you, I think, will help you stand out when you're building furniture or whatever crafts. These are perfect for craft boxes too, which I'm going to be making in a few minutes, just to give you an idea of the box joint and the versatility. So we're just going to clean these little drawers up, and we're doing multiple. We're doing one in white oak. We're going to do one in poplar. These are for some gun cases that I'm making for somebody, and really just giving freedom to kind of just wing these and put these in. And they came out pretty cool looking. This is obviously not done yet, but they came out real cool. So that's what we're doing. We're just going to be showing the versatility of these box joints. Just putting them together. I'm just going to dry fit them. I can spread now that on just glue. There's your box. You can make a ton of these and sell these little containers, whatever. These aren't even tightened up yet, but no glue. These are just dry fitted right now. Just to give you an idea how to do it. All right, so that's really about it. Okay, so this is really about it. I just wanted to give you an idea how I set my box cut jig up and the versatility of this joint and what I use it for mainly. These are pretty good alternative for like dovetails. Dovetails, I think, to me, take a lot more time, more hand tool based. And I think dovetails are probably a little bit better for joint and probably look a little fancier. But these are very versatile. You can use these on bigger boxes like this, bigger drawer boxes, toy boxes. It's the same concept essentially as a dovetail. It's just you could do it with a mechanical machine rather than, and I know you could do dovetails too with like the router and the jig, but most people I think like to hand cut them and I think that's to me that's like the ultimate fine woodworking to a certain extent. Dovetails and even things like this box joints. This is something you could definitely up your prices for your product. It gives a nice look. You can see the variation of the wood grains. It's just a nice little joint to use, and I think they're perfect
for woodworking, and like I said, ups your skills and also your perceived value. That's about it. Well, hopefully this helps you. If you have any questions, let me know, and thanks for watching.